or maybe it softens you. It has the power to do both. What concerns me is because when I post to social media, I've learned the art of not expressing an opinion. Because I don't care what your opinion is. I don't care that you have my opinion. What I care about as an educator,
Nice.
and especially as a scientist, is that your opinion is based on objective reality, objective truth. If you have an opinion where the foundation of it is, what? Then you're just floating. There's no, and then if you rise to power of laws and legislation, and then you shape a society based on what you think is true or want to be true rather than what is objectively true, that's a recipe for the unraveling of civilization as we know it. So this loneliness bit, I don't know how to comment on that. I don't have the expertise, but I do know that I don't want to be the person on the rocking chair. Get off my lawn.
And I guess I've been trying to figure out if I need to try and make sure my left leg is upwards.
Oh, let me get back to that. So, it may be that the most important role of church wasn't to give us a recipe for how you pray, or again, who you pray to, or when you pray. Maybe that's philosophy. So it's not just everybody lives forever today. It sort of works its way into the population. And yeah, I don't want to live forever. I don't. Take me off this earth. Provided, I still have more to give, right? That in my judgment would make the world better
For the first set.
than it
I'm going
currently
to switch
is.
to 2 sets.
So I don't want to
sets
die
safe
before I get as much of that done as I can.
Are you scared of death?
Okay. Just warm up set this one.
No. Although, that's easy to say because I'm not at death's door.
Just. Okay. Damn, that's a lot of clicking. Yeah. Screw it. So, until failure, and then we're doing 2 sets, so switching up, seeing how it goes. If not, we can always switch back to the normal way that we do things. So, okay. Thought it was going to be.
And I had someone rationalize with me, which is, they made a potent argument. It's, I can say now, with another 20 years life expectancy, 15, 20 years, that I don't fear death. But if I'm on my deathbed and someone says, if I could wave my hand and you could live another year, would you? The answer is probably going to be yes. And at the end of that year, so I don't know if my sentiments about life and death will change on my deathbed. I know my mother, there was a point where she couldn't swallow and she didn't want a feed tube. And she said, my time has come. You're gonna put me in palliative care and then hospice. And she was dead. Thank.
With the award-winning Aviva pension, you get the freedom to invest your way from just £25 a month, and it's quick and easy to apply online, helping you put the right pieces together for your future. It takes Aviva well.
Same time as Sunday.
Another really fascinating one was every breath you take contains molecules once inhaled by every human in history.
Yep.
That can't be true.
ChatGPT. No, so here it is, you ready?
Yeah.
There are more molecules of air in a single breath of air than there are breaths of air in Earth's entire atmosphere. So, if you breathe in and then breathe out, there's enough molecules that you breathe out.
I'm going to try to do at least 15 for the last set. Maybe next week I'll be the same. Go back to the original strength level. We'll see.
And despite, I wrote a column, a question and answer column, for like 10 years, 15 years, where people just ask me questions from the public. And I had a pen name called Merlin. And Merlin was friends with Newton and Galileo and Marie Curie and all these people. So if you ask Merlin, dear Merlin, I don't quite understand gravity. Merlin said, oh, Merlin had a conversation with Isaac Newton in his backyard. And here's how he answers that.
I think in the book you talk about a golf ball sized black hole would weigh more than Earth and swallow a hole behind something the size of a line.
Yeah, it was slightly bigger. Right.
What is, you've been asked this so many times, but I still don't know the answer. What is a black hole, and how do we even know if they're real, if no one's ever been to one?
Well, you can know things without visiting them. I mean, the methods and tools and machines of science are remarkable in their ability to learn something without actually having to see it with your eyes or hear it with your ears or to touch it with your fingers. We have, in fact, science didn't take off until these machines became a fundamental part of how we investigated the world, replacing our five senses. Because there's nothing more feeble in this world than you thinking you understand reality through your five senses. That I would call it feeble, I would call it error prone. Error prone. Remember I told you about the escape velocity of Earth?
Yeah.
You remember the value I said was?
7 miles
Pay attention.
a minute.
Per second.
Per second.
That's very fast. 7 miles per. So the adage, what goes up must come down? That's not true. It's true for almost anything you would experience. But you can launch something 7 miles per second, it'll never ever come back. That's the escape velocity for Earth. Okay. If Earth had more mass, the gravity were stronger, the escape velocity is higher. That would make sense. Because there's more gravity, you have to escape. Let's keep up that exercise. Cram in more and more mass. Just keep doing that. Escape velocity keeps going up. Eventually, escape velocity hits the speed of light. At that point, light can't even escape. Light is the fastest thing in the universe. If light can't escape, if you fall in, you don't escape either. There's no better description of a hole than that. And worse yet,
You go to failure or you become a failure. Michael. Try to fix this thing. Could just wear goddamn hat. Might have to. waterfall. 2 tens. So.
It's a hole in any direction you approach it. Not just a hole in the street or in the floor. It's a 3-dimensional hole. And how do we know it's there? Because it distorts the fabric of space and time around it. We see galaxies behind concentrations of matter, black hole, and the shape of the galaxy is distorted. Because Einstein tells us that gravity distorts the fabric of space and time. That's one way we discover black holes. Another way is most stars in the night sky are binary in multiple star systems. Most of them. You can't see it because you just have human vision. You whip out a telescope, you see, oh my gosh, there's 2 stars, not just one. If there's a pair of stars, and
Tries to push on. It's going to be fun to do. Till failure.
and one of them becomes a black hole, and this one ages, it expands, and some of its material spills onto and orbits around the event horizon of the black hole. This swirling material gets hotter and hotter and hotter, and it radiates X-rays and ultraviolet. We have X-ray and ultraviolet telescopes that see every one of these in the night sky. They're all black holes.
And it's created from an explosion?
There's a star that wants to explode but has so much mass, the explosion doesn't overcome the gravity, and the star collapses down on itself to make a black hole. There's one.
So our sun, when that
It's
runs
not going to become a black hole. It's pretty wimpy. It'll still kill us.
So the mass of the object is so big that it can't actually explode because the gravitation
Correct.
inwards is so strong.
Correct.
And you
That's
just see.
above a certain threshold. Within there, there's the stars that the explosion is greater than what the gravity can contain. It makes a supernova, and those are the stars that spread heavy elements across the galaxy, enabling us to even exist.
So when I read this again, a golf ball-sized black hole would weigh more than Earth and swallow it whole, leaving behind something the size of a lime.
Yeah, so when black holes eat, they get bigger. So a lime is bigger than a golf ball, but not by very much. We can calculate what the size is.
Where would everything go?
It's in there. It's pressed down inside the hole.
And if I was, and everything near it's going to get pulled in there as well.
But if it comes too close, right?
If it comes too close.
Yeah, you can keep your distance. Black holes, they're not giant sucking devices. I mean, if you keep your distance, if the sun became a black hole right now, we would still orbit it. The gravity we feel at our distance is no different.
You say that if the sun suddenly shut off, we'd freeze at minus 462 Fahrenheit, which is the background temperature of the universe.
Yes.
Once the stored energy ran out.
Yeah.
Once the stored energy ran out.
Well, so there's the sun's energy, if the sun blotted out. But Earth has energy inside of itself as well. This is what gives us volcanoes and continental drift and all the rest of this. So if you don't have a sun, you want to live near a volcano or something that is a source of energy for you. And then you'll live on Earth until the Earth's energy died out. Ideally, by then, you just go to another planet. You know, why not?
How long has our sun got left?
About another 5 billion years.
How would we know?
It's a good question. That's a product of 20th century modern astrophysics. Then it was modern. I think of it as modern. Where you say, what kind of star is this? You look around the universe for other stars that are just like it. And then you see those stars in their stages of evolution. Stars being born, living out their lives, and dying. And the star changes its properties from birth to death. And so you can line up where the sun is in that chart. And then, plus we know how old Earth is. So we directly measure the age of the Earth. And so there's no reason to think that Earth did not form at the same time as Sun did.
Another really fascinating one was every breath you take contains molecules once inhaled by every human in history.
Yeah.
That can't be true.
ChatGPT. No, so here it is, you ready?
Yeah.
There are more molecules of air in a single breath of air than there are breaths of air in Earth's entire atmosphere. So, if you breathe in and then breathe out, there's enough molecules that you breathe out to populate every breath that anyone will ever again take on this earth. And air mixes rather quickly. Okay? So it has to mix. It's not immediately. Give it some time. When you give it some time, there are molecules that went in and out of your lungs that are in China being breathed by people there when enough time has elapsed. You can calculate that. Like, it's years, 10 years, something like that. There's tremendous mixing of air. So, how's that for feeling kinship with others? Same with water. You drink water. There are more molecules of water in a glass of water, a mug of water, than there are mugs of water all the way to the ocean. So if you drink a mug of water, and then it comes out of you in any one of a half dozen different ways.
How's the workout going?
There's enough
Good,
molecules
right? Amazing,
to
actually.
into every other mug of
Switching
water in
up
the
a bit.
world.
I'm
So
doing
someone gets a mug of
something
water,
different.
your molecules.
Doing 2 sets instead of 3 till failure, so pushing a bit harder. But yeah, it's going good. How's your day been? Well, how's it going so far?
You have plenty of molecules to go.
If I do a big inhale, I'm inhaling air that contains a molecule that all of my living relatives once inhaled.
Yes. And go further back. Jesus inhaled. Muhammad.
It's been good,
Oh, we never
nice.
breath.
Yes, every breath.
I'm kind of
This
tired.
is
How are you?
the oneness
Honestly.
of it all. That's why it's a beautiful thing. Astrophysics.
A little bit tired, but you know, it's just starting to work out.
Do you think it makes us kind of
Maybe at the end,
learning about the universe, or do you think
being
it makes us
a
more
lot more
nihilistic
tired,
and
but right now,
No, if you learn about it,
fast over.
as you shouldn't be nihilist.
I think it's the
There's no
pre-workout
force of nihilism in the
giving me the energy.
knowledge, wisdom, and insight
All
you
the
get from
caffeine.
studying the universe.
Yeah.
You will never find marching armies led by astrophysicists who go slaughter one another. The cosmic perspective prevents that.
The cosmic perspective.
Yeah. By the way, if you look at the chapter titles in there,
Click way too much. I'm gonna just be moving my arms. I keep clicking them. Hopefully, the movement. Hopefully that helps. Kind of gets my arms used to it. That's the problem with bodybuilding as well. If you lift heavy weights,
each pairs of words that we've all used and
Kind
that
of
we've argued over
get less
many of them
flexible over time.
over our Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know if there's a version
But
of
that's fair,
Thanksgiving
feeling that
today
energy.
where everybody
that
finishes
pump,
Christmas,
yeah.
everybody gathers,
Do you run
uncles
too?
and aunts come in
Yeah,
and argue with them.
jog pretty much.
You know, and
Only
then you
2
remind
times a
yourself
week.
you only see them once a year.
Half the time to 1 time.
No, there's topics in there.
Just started
colored
doing
races
that.
in there.
Just
Law and
doing
order.
a bit of jogging and you know, bit of cardio. Not for like weight loss or anything, just for health. Because my job is sitting. Like in my job, I just sit around and do nothing, as in no movement really on a computer. So I need to stay a bit active, you know. Try to get a bit of cardio in, you know, if you can. Oh, everything in balance, I guess. I should be doing more though, but I'm trying to do like the bare minimum. At least doing something, you know.
Body and mind, meatarians and vegetarians, life and death. A lot of reflective moments in there. So this book, though it's all these topics that people fight about, its goal is to say, do you think that that and you think that, you gotta look at it this way. It's not meet in the middle. No. It's meet on a plane of existence above what you're arguing. And you will look down on what you're arguing and realize how ridiculous it is. That's the goal of that book.
Chapter 10 of the book, it says, human physiology may be overrated.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, we like to think of ourselves at the top of evolutionary
What are you listening to? It's a
properties,
podcast.
but it's really your mind.
Just Neil, that's his name. It's just an educational podcast. Neil deGrasse, like some smart guy on the internet. You know, having something on in the background, maybe absorb something rather than just music, which is, it's nice, but it gets boring over time for me. And I only did it because of the stream. Usually I like to listen to podcasts and stuff, so might as well. You guys couldn't even hear the music I was playing on. So he voices everything.
Surely.
What does that mean? Like the podcaster?
Not much else. You know,
The next set though.
it's odd because we always imagine aliens having human.
Okay, let me angle you. Angle a bit. Different view. Okay, failure. Let's go. You know what? It's very stupid. I should have biceps, not flipping hammer curls. You know, kind of messed up the workout now. So, yeah, it's carry on though. It's the same equipment. I was like, you know, it's this time, but there's two different exercises I can do with that. Whatever. Guess I'll count that as an exercise and move on to the next one, which is bench press, bit of chest. Why the hell is it rolling? Neil Tyson, I feel like he's always doing the voiceovers for stuff. Yeah, I've seen a lot of clips with him as well. Especially like the molecules one, like everything he says is so smart. Not everything, but he says quite a lot of like mind-blowing stuff, and everyone just clips it up and posts it everywhere. That's why I watch the podcast. Seems kind of smart. I'm not sure if you've heard of Andrew Huberman. Might be watching some of his stuff. I used to, at least. Oh well, let's get it set up. Yeah, that makes sense.
The banana doesn't have a humanoid body. You have DNA in common with it. You have any DNA in common with an alien from another planet. Yet it's walking around with neck, eyes, nose, mouth, head, ears, shoulders, arms, fingers, kneecaps, feet. Really? Is that your best imagination that you can come up with? Alien from another planet?
Is the universe infinite? I've often wondered that. Does it just go on forever? Or is there
We're not given reason to think it doesn't. But our horizon has an edge.
what we can see?
Yeah. But there's no reason to think. So you're a ship at sea, and you have a horizon. Are you saying, well, it's the extent of the ocean? No. Because if you sail towards the horizon, more horizon shows up. And you keep that up until you hit land. So in the universe, we have our horizon. And if we went to that horizon, we'd have a whole other horizon beyond that. If we travel to that horizon, there's a whole other horizon there. The question is, how far does that go? We don't know. We have no idea. It's simpler mathematically to think it goes forever.
I watched the other guy though.
It's curious how there's some equations where infinities
How do you even know?
work just fine in the equation. So we don't know. We can talk about our own horizon, that's it.
Pretty sure when I was doing my biology course, the teacher recommended one of his podcasts to watch, and I was like, yeah, that's awesome. It's I was watching him. I actually watched that podcast, so I was like fully chilling. So it kind of helped me with that, but it's like doing courses for me personally makes me like, if you do something fun, you'll enjoy it. But then if someone forces you to do something, then you'll just lose interest real fast. And I think that's what's happened with me and my the subjects I told, because I actually like math and I actually like biology as well, but now I've just lost a bit of interest. It's time to get back into it though. I just find it
There's so
interesting.
many people saying that they've seen aliens. We had someone on this podcast actually that said they'd seen aliens. Not they'd seen aliens, but they had evidence that aliens existed. And they worked in the military and said that they'd, fully speak.
Next set. Let's go. How much am I doing? I think it's 10. Double check though. Yeah, 10.
Raw footage that you see from the
Did they show you the alien?
No, but you see the videos of the things bouncing around in the sky.
Oh, fuzzy videos.
Fuzzy videos.
So those are UFOs, they're not aliens.
UFOs, yeah.
There's a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Many people equate the two. If you see something in the sky and you don't know what it is, it's a UFO. And what does the U stand for? Unidentified. Until you can identify it, it's a UFO. And because it does things that you don't understand, you cannot equate that with it being an alien. You just said you don't know what it is. Wow, that's amazing. I don't know what it is. Therefore, it must be an alien? Once you just said you don't know what it is, that's the end of the sentence. You can't go on and say, therefore, it must be anything. You can be impressed with videos that have no explanation. I don't have a problem with that. What's going on to aliens? What's it? It's a government cover-up? You really think the government is that competent? Most of the same people who say there's a masterminded government, they're the same people who complain that the government is a bloated bureaucracy, inefficient bureaucracy that should be replaced by private enterprise. There's the same people making those same statements. So I love the aliens. I want to meet them too. My people, the astrophysics community, has been researching for aliens for decades.
And you've never found evidence of any?
Not. So, the community of amateur astronomers badge of honor because you know the night sky, you own a telescope. It's not like amateur neurosurgeon, okay? You don't want to go to an amateur neurosurgeon. If you want to know the night sky, go to an amateur astronomer. Amateur astronomers know the night sky. They know what the sun, moon, and stars are doing every night. They're very good at climate and weather because that affects whether things are visible. They know when weather systems come in and go out and what things look like.
Not
You
too
would
bad.
think if aliens were
13. It's not too bad. See if we can do another 10 to 13 though. 10 to 13.
up and about, that amateur astronomers would have seen more of them than anyone else. But they've seen less. Because we know what we're looking at. It's kind of that simple. The moment you know what you're looking at, it's an IFO, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not a UFO. And so, yeah, I want to meet the aliens, but you're going to show me fuzzy video, or you're going to say you have an alien, but it's in a locked box and you're not going to show it. If you have an alien in a locked box and you're not going to show it, that's the same thing to a scientist as not having an alien at all.
Could you make the case for why aliens probably do exist, and also the case for why they probably don't exist?
No, they surely exist in this universe. The universe is 14 billion years old, and the ingredients of life on Earth are the most common ingredients in the universe. And life began on Earth almost as quickly as it possibly could have. When Earth finally cooled down after it being formed, it was like 200 million years. First signs of single-cell life. So even though we can't duplicate that yet, we don't know how, it's a frontier of biology, Earth didn't seem to have problems getting the job done within 200 million years. That's Earth. Now you have exoplanets everywhere across the galaxy. To suggest that life on Earth is alone in the universe, you'd have to have some point of philosophy that requires you believe that, because it's not derived from actual evidence or observations of the universe itself. So, aliens, usually people mean intelligent aliens, but we're happy to find any kind of life at all, bacterial life. That would transform biology.
What about in our galaxy, in the Milky Way
Yeah,
galaxy?
the galaxy is the most sensible place to. So we've looked for exoplanets, a planet orbiting another star, because we're going to look for life. We presume it's going to be on a planet. So if this table is the galaxy, and the solar system would be about right there, this is just a circle about this big for exoplanets.
And what's the solar system versus the
It's just the sun and its planets.
Oh, okay.
Solar system. And then that's our solar system there, and we are part of several hundred billion stars in the galaxy. And this galaxy is one of perhaps as many as 1 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. So to say we're alone, that's just you're being philosophically irresponsible.
So this table is the galaxy?
Yeah, if it were the galaxy.
And we searched a coin.
Yeah, that's a good word to use, a coin-sized volume of this galaxy. We've searched for exoplanets, and by association, life. So, folks at the SETI Institute, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, they've come up with an analogy. Because people say, well, we haven't found life yet, so maybe there's no life anywhere. And we say, no, take it up.
It is my old favourite team when I actually used to support football. Manchester United. Yeah. It's a family thing though. And then everyone stopped watching it. well, clearly wasn't a true fan, because as soon as it did bad, I was like, I can't be bothered, let's stop watching it. So yeah, I'm just wearing it because it's not because it's cold, not because I'm a Manchester United fan, just because I want to put the mic on something. So yeah, boring. Not a die-hard football fan. Yeah. If I were to be a fan of sports, it'd be boxing or something, but not the biggest fan. Not hating on any Man United fans or anything. I mean, free will. You can do whatever the heck you want. You can support whatever, you know, whatever beliefs. You can have different beliefs, different, you know, things you like than me. So, but it's just not for me, unfortunately. Let's put this back though. Oh, not bicep cutting this thing. So, let's be sensible and deadlift it. You know. Okay. That's fair. Why are they calling me? What time is it? What time is it? 3:42. Hopefully they're not trapped outside. Let's double check quickly actually. Just in case. Let me just go outside quickly check. That's funny. That is funny. You could put the mic on a necklace if you have one and don't want to wear. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I was doing. But I'm not sure if the audio will be muffled up. So today, hopefully, I'm gonna just go over the streams and see what I can improve and the audio quality as well. Because I'm at a stage where I'm just testing things out, camera angle, everything. And slowly just trying to improve it, analysing. I've put it on my scarf right now, and I'm also going to put it, well, I've already put it on my a necklace. I'm just going to go over it and just watch how it is. So hopefully next stream will be alright. But yeah, let's do this quickly. Jeez.
Poop it into the ocean. That's like saying, the ocean has no whales in it.
Is that the equivalent?
Yeah, it's equivalent in terms of the space of searching, because it's not only in physical space, but it's in time. Suppose the aliens sent radio
What else did you say?
signals to
So
us,
you said.
and they arrived
Give me a
2,000
few
years ago.
suggestions.
Did the Romans have radio telescopes? No. But we would all count them as intelligent. So communication requires intelligence and technology. How long have we had technology to do that? 80 years.
On the core chance of probability, do you think there are aliens in the Milky Way galaxy?
Yeah, oh sure.
Do you think there are?
I don't see why not. It's a calculation you can do. I did it with two colleagues of mine. We have about 100 civilizations in the galaxy alive now. That's not many out of the total number of stars, but again, a civilization has to evolve out of whatever it was. That's a tiny little slight.
I'll go one more exercise. How long have we been streaming for?
Less than an hour.
Less than a goddamn hour. Maybe do another exercise. Some biceps curl. Maybe actual triceps, which we missed out. Why is it orange? Hopefully that's not a bad thing.
Slice of time relative to how long the planet has been there.
100 different living.
Yeah, so
also
there's
the word living, because living can mean many things.
well, I mean, Mars might have had life, but it would be dead today on the surface. So, we're looking for living
We'll do
civilization.
triceps.
And does that excite
now tell me it has visited you with fuzzy lights in the sky, and no one has like brought forth an alien. I need better evidence because you're making an extraordinary claim.
Human fascination with meeting these aliens when we've got crazy species we've never met on our own planet.
That's a good point. And plus, what do we need real aliens for when we have Hollywood?
Damn.
The funny part to me is we have no knowledge that aliens want to harm us. But we do have knowledge that humans want to harm humans. And any encounter between an advanced civilization and one that was less advanced in the history of exploration never boded well for the less advanced civilization. So for me, we are describing aliens not as we think they would be, but as we know we are to one another.
And we've only got to play out what we would do as well if we found an alien civilization. What would humans do? I mean, I think we'd go and try and steal some of them and bring them here.
Well, they're probably smarter than us. That's like worms saying, "Oh, we found some humans. What should we do with them? Should we corral them?" No. If the aliens came here, they clearly are more advanced than we are, because we haven't left low Earth 53 years. So if they cross the galaxy to visit us, oh, we're going to take a shoot a gun at them? Look at us.
You know, yeah. In all the movies, though, we shoot them. That's so funny. I've never thought about that before. That yeah, we just shoot guns at them.
You shoot guns at them, and did it really make a difference? You know.
We've got like Brad Pitt or whoever in like on cruise. What's your favourite space movie?
Space movie? Well, sci-fi is The Matrix.
Why?
I love everything about it. The story is tight. One physics error in it, but without it, they don't have a movie. So you got to write them a whole pass, which I feel that I have the power to do.
What was the error? Everyone's going to be wondering what the error was in the debate.
Well, it's not an error. It's just it's bad physics in it. Okay, so if you remember, the AI computer that's running everything needs an energy source. And so they're growing humans in these pods, knowing that each human radiates at about 80 watts. They didn't give that number, but it's a true fact. 80 watts, like an 80 watt bulb. That's how much energy you are consuming and using. It's an energy rate. Okay?
Maybe it's low. Makes sense. Orange low. Yeah, it is low. Okay. So we're just gonna charge it, but let's hope it gives us enough time. Hi. Nice.
So one of the writers must have known that and said, that's kind of cool. Let's use humans as an energy source for the machines. All right. So there are these pods of humans. And they grow the humans from childhood to adulthood. And they put in their head a world that they're living in which is just in their head, and they think it's real, but it's not. That's the matrix. Okay. But wait a minute. How do the humans get their energy? They feed the humans food. Well, why are you feeding food to humans and then using the energy from the humans for the machine? Bypass the middleman and just feed the machine. Something called the second law of first or second law of thermodynamics. Anytime energy changes from one form to another, it's not 100% efficient.
Yeah.
You drive a car, if you drive a combustion engine car, you drive it 50 miles, get out, the engine's hot. Where did the heat come from? That's
Thermal energy.
wasted energy converting chemical energy of the gasoline
Useful
to
and
kinetic
useless
energy of your car. It is never 100% perfect.
Chemistry.
So, they are losing energy with this middleman, and they should just feed themselves whatever the food they're feeding the humans. And if they're smart, they would not have humans at all. But then there's no movie. So that's my point. Road to Mahal Pass. You're okay with that?
Are you an easy person to watch movies like this?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not the guy you think I am. I will watch it and silently, yes, I'll gather a list of, but I'm silent about it. And if you're interested, I will tell you later.
Have you ever heard about this before? This thing I'm holding in my hands now. This is called Ketone IQ. Their website is ketone.com. You've heard me on this podcast talking about the fact that I stay much of the year in a ketogenic state, which is a highly restricted diet. And the reason I do that is plentyfold. One of them is I spend hours and hours talking to people for a living. So I want to make sure my brain is firing in an optimal way. And the other reason I do the ketogenic diet is because I just feel better. So when I discovered this, which is what they call an exogenous ketone product, where you can drink it and increases your blood's ketone levels, I was blown away. I contacted them, I met them, I invested extremely heavily into their company, and I've become a co-owner of the company accordingly, and they sponsor this show now. So if you want to try this out for yourself, I recommend you try it. Just visit ketone.com/Stephen and you'll get 30% off your first subscription order. You'll also get a free gift with your second shipment. That's ketone.com/Stephen. I did something at 24 years old that has had a profound impact on my life. I set myself the challenge of posting every single day on my social media channel. And at the time, I was doing it to grow my following, but it had this profound impact on my life, and remarkably, it led me to building a following.
Ever going to the moon and you don't know anything about physics or rocks, and you look up and it looks like a hunk of cheese you're eating? It's a completely legit question.
And there is a bit of a conversation raging in my friendship circle at the moment about religion and meaning and what's the point. Should we be arguing about these things? About meaning, religion? Is there any
I think meaning is a very personal thing to people. So why should you jump in the middle of their attempt to establish meaning in their life? We're all very different people. And so meaning ought to be different. If meaning was the same for everyone, you just publish it, everyone reads it, and we all have meaning. No, you gotta make it yourself. Some people want to search for it, fine. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not searching for meaning. I'm creating meaning in my life because I can control that. Not that it's important to control everything. I like magic as an adult because it reminds me I can still be fooled. Okay? So I don't need to know everything. I just need to maintain curiosity.
You've got kids?
Yeah. 29 and 25.
Is that the most meaningful thing you've done in your life?
Raising kids?
Yeah.
It's among the most meaningful things. I would say they did a lot of their own raising because they're highly independent. So there's a limit to how much I should take credit for what they have become. There are a lot of what they did themselves. But who's a scientist, she's a mathematical physicist. We made sure that both our kids were scientifically literate at an early age. By age 13, certified. So at that point, I said, I don't care what grade you get from now on. I don't care. I know no one will exploit you for your lack of curiosity and knowledge about the objective universe. And, we'd be at a dinner party and they're in middle school, right? And someone says, oh, I had a bad day because Mercury was in retrograde. And And my son would say, what actually happened to you today? Has that happened on days when it was, they know how to ask questions, okay? By the way, if you just reject what someone says, outright, that's as intellectually lazy as it is to accept what they say outright. What's harder, but I think more fun, is lining up a series of questions to probe the statement, to explore what is going on in the thoughts and in the claims of the person with whom you're conversing. So if someone says, I have these crystals, and you rub them together, it'll heal you. My kids would say, what are the crystals made of? And what tests have you made for this? And could the healing have been explained in another way? And in what way are and they start asking these questions, and then the person will probably just walk away because they would not have the answers to all of them. And then, remember I said, if an argument lasts more than 5 minutes, then both sides are wrong. The person, there's no place for that to go to the truly curious person. And another interesting fact, crystals represent the lowest energy state of the atomic or molecular configuration that it's comprised of. The lowest energy state. So people say, I have crystal energy. No, you don't. You have the lowest energy state of that silicon dioxide that you're calling quartz. There's no energy you're going to take out of it. It is in its lowest energy state. These are people who have never had chemistry. And as an educator, I don't want to make fun of this, but when people think they know something and are audacious about it when in fact they don't, that makes it much harder for an educator to break through.
Horoscopes.
Yeah.
Well, I've got some stats for you here.
Sure.
Neil. Surveys find that roughly 80% of Gen Z believe in astrology to some degree. 72% of those Gen Z and millennials allow astrology to influence major life decisions like romance, health, work, and education.
That is crazy though. But at the same time, believing in something kind of relieves you of questioning it, I guess. As in, I think it only applies to, like, if you believe that you're destined to do something, it kind of takes away you having to, like, just get your own belief on something. Just believe what's set in stone would make life easier. So you don't have to think as much, and yeah, it's hard to explain, like, with like that kind of question. It's really hard to put in words and explain it. Well, for me specifically.
And many Gen Zs now are
Definitely something I have to improve on though.
horoscopes weekly.
Yeah, we live in a free country, so I'm not going to try to stop them. What would be sad is if that number got to 100%, and then you wouldn't be generating scientists or engineers or people who the objective truths of the world matter. And then the civilization just goes back to the cave, where everything that happened in the natural world was mysterious, created by forces beyond our knowledge and understanding. And this is the title of Carl Sagan's book, The Demon Who Haunted the World. Science as a Candle in the Dark. That's the subtitle of that book. So, if you want to think you're not in control of your fate because the sun, moon, and planets are, it's like I said, it's a free country.
Is there anything that you've learned that the universe does to influence us?
Yeah, the sun rises and I wake up because I want to be awake during the day.
Yeah, I did do two sets.
People on.
Yeah, the tide comes in and I move my beach chair back
Mind.
because the tide came in. Yeah, there are things that influence my behavior. Yes, but it's not much more than that. Earth is tipped on its axis, so we have seasons. I buy coats and wear them in the winter. That influences my behavior.
What's your star sign?
Well, I went once had someone take a class of mine at the planetarium that I taught on astrophysics. And at the end, like second to last class, she came and said, "Oh, thank you, Ed. Thanks for the class. I'm enjoying the class. But I want you to know I'm an astrologer. I'm taking the class so I can cast horoscopes better." So I said, "It's really working for you?" She said, "Yeah. She said, "For example, what's your horoscope sign?" And I said, "Shouldn't you be able to figure that out?" If all this works, then you cast horoscopes, you ought to tell me what my sign is. She said, okay. She said, "Are you Gemini?" I said, "No." "Cancer?" I said, "No." "It must be Leo." I said, "No." 8 horoscopes later, she gets the correct answer and said, "I knew it." So I'm simply saying
Like I just see, bro.
her 9th guess out of 12 was correct, and she declared, "I knew it."
Why do people want to believe in things like this?
I think they want the world to still have mysteries. Because mysteries are beautiful things. However, the world still has mysteries. They're just different mysteries from whatever there used to be. And so follow the mysteries where they take you. And there's another branch of all of us who must have answers to every question. Because they're not willing to love the questions, they only want to love the answer. So they say, "What was around before the Big Bang?" I said, "I don't know, we can copy it. Something had to be around." I said, "I don't know. Must have been God." So there's their answer. Then they're happy. What happens after death? Well, it looks like you rot in the ground, but otherwise, and that's what physics, there's gotta be something, your soul. I said, there's gotta be God. Heaven? Okay, that's their answer. You got their answer. And if that's your answer at every turn, you're not as good an investigator of the unknown because you just invented the answer to the unknown. You're content. What is dark matter? I don't know. We have top people. Is that the spirit of God? Okay. Then that person won't walk into a lab to continue to study what dark matter is, dark energy. I don't mind if you want to say it's God, but don't let that stop your curiosity. But if you say it's God and then you're done, then you're not very useful in the lab.
Most people seem to be happier and healthier than the surprising thing. And religious people.
Well, again, so it could be because they believe there's a God that tells them who to sleep with and where to eat and how to pray, or because they have a regular dose of community. I don't know that those are completely separable variables. They're people who they love and care about that they see every week, which is not happening with so many people today.
Do you think you would be happier if you believed in God?
I'm a pretty happy guy.
Do you think you'd be happier?
I don't know, I've seen very happy people in celebrating their version of God. But there are other people who are really happy in their version of God. And here's the problem. Deeply religious people typically find other religions. Deeply religious people will declare for themselves and others in that religion that all the other religions are false. False. And if not false, just make preposterous claims. It is so obvious to them how false all the other religions are. Now you go to this religion. It is obvious how preposterous the rest of the religions are. You go around religion to religion. And so what's really going on here is devout people in so many of these religions are atheists to every religion but their own. Every religion but their own. Okay? How can a mountain have moved to Muhammad? That can't be. But, okay. Oh, but yes, the creator of the universe impregnated a woman in the Middle East 2,000 years ago. That's more believable than anything in the Quran for this person. Okay? And then the Jews, he's saying, Jesus is the Son of God? What are you crazy? Where'd you get that from? He's a good Jew, nice prophet, but Son of God, you're going too far. So everybody's saying what's not true. So they're atheists for every other, they just don't believe any other religion. Whereas an actual atheist just has one more religion for that category. It's your religion. The atheist agrees with you that all the other religions are preposterous in their claims. But they also think your religion is preposterous. And people don't accept that. It doesn't land well. So I don't have any problems with people being religious. I don't have any issues with that. I don't try to impose other people try to do it. I've seen them do this. I have a quote where I misquoted.
What's that?
Just because they want me on their side. Okay, right? It's a simple quote. If every time I tell you science doesn't understand it, you say, well, God must be that. God made the universe. Because God made life, because we don't know how to make life yet. If that is your definition and understanding of God, then as science progresses, it will solve these questions, pushing the God back outward to places that have yet to be discovered. And so the quote is, if to you God is where science has yet to tread, then God is an ever-receding pocket of scientific ignorance. That references what philosophers are called God of the gaps. It goes way back, thousands of years. If we don't understand it, there's a God. The storm is Poseidon. Okay? Lightning bolt struck is Zeus. Right? That's God of the gaps. God of the gaps is a time-honored exercise in human civilization. So all I'm saying is, that statement is objectively true because it's an if statement. If to you God is where science has yet to tread, then as science continues to tread, you're a shrinking pocket of scientific. That's your God. Okay? It's not an opinion. There's a statement of an if statement, the consequences of an if statement. I've had people take the second half and put it on a t-shirt. God is an ever-receding pocket of scientific ignorance. Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's not what I said. That's half of what I said. And that's only true if to you, God is where science has yet to tread. But to pull that out and make that the truth? No. I would never make such a statement. Ever. You're 66, right? I will be 67. In a month. Okay, so you're a month from this recording.
So I'm 33.
Okay. We're half my age.
Exactly half. I was wondering, you're a very wise man. What is the advice that you wish someone had said to you at 33 that you could give to me now?
I have no such advice, and I'll tell you why. If you're alert and you're smart, alert meaning you notice things and you're smart,
Failure. Actually, 3 sets. I'm gonna keep it. Not even 19. Hopefully I copped to something. Whew. Alright. Should be done. Oh god. 2 sets, first workout. Not bad. I mean, pump is alright. Too bad. So yeah, that's it. That is it. See you